Am I saying your name right? Per?
Yeah, very good. Actually.
Let me hear you say it once.
Par.
Par. Par.
Yeah. Yeah.
Par. Oh, when I see your last name,
Congrats.
I think you have a few letters missing. You have one too many T's and you're missing an IAN.
Yeah, I see. I'm close though. I'm close.
You could almost be an honorary Armenian.
Yep.
Good to see you guys. And Henrik, I think I can say that one. That one's a little easier for me. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Henrik.
Henrik, yeah. That was very good.
I don't know any Henriks or any Pars in the United States, but I'm guessing you don't know any Sevons either.
I don't know.
Yeah,
No.
this
Not
is
many.
this is not the kind of show that for the linguistically challenged. And Per, where are you?
I'm in Sweden, so at the moment I'm in one of my gyms.
Okay. And Henrik, where are you?
I'm in Costa Blanca, Spain, where I live.
Oh, that's home for you?
Yeah, we left Sweden almost 8 years ago, and we wanted sunshine and a bit warmer climate, so that's home.
And are you a gym owner also in Spain?
Yeah, for now, yeah, we have a small gym studio here. Absolutely.
And when you say we, Henrik, you have a family, like a wife and kids, or?
Yeah, I do. One of our business partners, the third of the team, she's Heather. She's a Canadian love import. So we lived in Sweden together for, I believe, 17 years before we moved here, and we have 2 kids. So they are 18 and 16.
Wow.
Daughter and son.
So you moved from Sweden to Spain when your kids were 10 and 8.
Correct.
How did they adapt?
My son really wanted to leave because he didn't like school in Sweden, and now he loves it. Not sure if I should say this in public. Yeah, let's go for it. My daughter said, "You ruined my life."
You're not a good parent if your child doesn't say that to you on the regular.
Yeah, she did, but she's happy now.
I know you guys, and Per, you're the founder of the Coaches Congress?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, and the Coaches Congress popped up on my radar. Obviously, I've heard it, and then finally I'm like, wow, I'm hearing this so much. I don't know anything about it. Before I ask you, though, I don't want to leave this with Henrik. So that takes some balls. That's a lot of things a lot of people would love to do. You know what I mean? People have these fantasies of like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to pick up my family and move to a fishing village in Mexico, or I'm going to pick up my family and I'm going to move to Spain. How does that, was that hard, especially with kids, or scary?
We're more of an international family, being, a Swedish Canadian couple. So language was really not a problem for the kids. We didn't have to find one of these places in Sweden or in Spain where they have Scandinavian schools or whatever. So they could go into an international school. So that part was fairly easy. In terms of work, we've always had our own company, so we never been stuck to an office somewhere. We could work remotely, and so yeah, no, I wouldn't say scary. We used to run a couple of travel companies, so the world has been a bit of a workplace for many years, I would say.
A travel company for moving people around to different locations, or
no. Oh, sorry, tour operator, like travel agent. So we used to have a company called Scuba Travel. So we took people or sent people diving around the world, for instance. And
are you still in that business?
No, we sold that a couple of years ago.
And is this Coaches Congress thing full time for you now?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you.
Yeah, that's really cool. God, this is all stuff you couldn't have done, 20, 30, 40 years ago. I know, I think about it all the time. Like, I could go to the moon and do my podcast. What's to stop me?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
And Per, what do you do in Sweden? Do you strictly run gyms? You have a couple gyms?
I'm co-owner of 4 different CrossFit gyms, and then I'm a two-brain mentor since 6 years. And then it's the Coaches Congress, where I'm not very operative anymore, but so it's mainly the gyms and the mentoring.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say you're not that operative with the Coaches Congress, are you involved at all?
Shaking hands, kissing babies.
Oh, nice.
No, but it's Henrik and Heather are like running the business, and I'm part of some of it. Like Henrik asked me around speakers, we do talk, but they are running it, and I'm at the events, etc. Obviously, since I'm also very closely connected to Two Brain and doing a lot of mentoring, and I have people coming from, some of my mentees coming to events. I do love the events, so I'm involved, but I'm not like running it.
When I think of Two Brain, I think of working at Two Brain as opposed to getting their services. I think it would be such a great place to work. Like if you get a job at McDonald's or Starbucks or something, and they train you, the person might not be so excited to work there. It's something that they might just have to do, right? So you take them over to the fry machine, and they might not be that engaged, or to the register, they might not be that engaged. But when you work at Two Brain, all your clients are like the most passionate people in the world, right? I mean, that's why the cult thing happens. They found something that changed their lives, and they want to share it with other people, and then you're there to work with these people who are so excited to be successful at what they do. Hey, I'm going to make the best French fries ever. Can you teach me how?
Yeah, there's a lot of positive energy from from everywhere. Yes, it's quite similar to running a CrossFit gym, at least especially in the beginning. Like everyone just loves it, and you get a lot of positive feedback back from it. So yeah, and you learn a lot. So yeah, I agree.
And you work with capable, excited,
Yes.
overachieving type A people.
Yeah, exactly. And they have all chosen to be there. So, I used to be a teacher and a principal before running gyms, and not everyone in the school have chosen to be there, right? So it's a different audience.
Henrik, could you tell me how you cross paths with CrossFit? What's your and maybe how you fell in love with it, if I could put words into your name?
Well, I'm coming from a slightly different background into this, which might surprise you. But the way I actually met with Per was when I was. He had been running the event for a couple of years already in Stockholm, and I came in as a sponsor through one of my previous companies, and we decided to run the event together. So I wasn't a coach. I wasn't a gym owner at that stage. I just wanted to do what Per and I decided to set off to do, to help gym owners and coaches to thrive and to be able to help more people. So
were you training at that time? Were you doing CrossFit?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I was training, so 4 or 5 times a week, everything from normal strength training and running and whatever. So, and I still do. So,
But were you doing, when you met Per, were you doing CrossFit?
no.
Oh, so you were sort of you had some expertise and helped to run the event, and then you kind of fell into it.
Yeah, I would
You're like,
say
what are these
something
guys
like
doing?
that. More of a serial entrepreneur. Been doing a lot of different things before this, and then couldn't help myself and suggested to Per and had to convince him that let's do this, swap from Swedish to English as a language on the event. And we invited Jimmy Letchford for our first year together.
Wow.
So yeah, so 2018.
And then Per, what was your introduction? How did your paths cross with CrossFit?
Oh man, this is like 2009.
Yeah.
I was working extra at the gym as a body pump and indoor cycling instructor, and then read an article in some magazine about CrossFit because CrossFit hardly existed in Sweden back then. So I just read an article and tried that. They gave examples of a couple of workouts, and I started trying them out in that gym, which was kind of impossible. So people saw me throwing medicine balls and stuff like that in the gym. And then one of the personal trainers in that gym saw me and he was like, "Per, what are you doing, man? It looks crazy." And I'm like, it's CrossFit. So we just started doing it and decided to try and run like a 6-week group with volunteers. So we asked people like, if you want to try this new thing that we're going to do, you can jump on for free for 6 weeks. Had great feedback. So we just went and took our level 1 in 2010, started a gym, affiliated.
Wow.
I didn't know there were other gyms in Sweden at that time. I think 3 or 4 different CrossFit gyms opened up in Sweden at 2009, 2010, and that's like the beginning of it. So coincidence. Read an article in the magazine. No one introduced me to it. No one taught me how to do the exercises. I just had to figure it out myself. It's kind of fun, actually.
Yeah, and I think that's how a lot of us got involved in the early days. I remember seeing a guy and he told me what he did for a workout and I thought he was a liar. And then I went to the website and me and my friend were like, "Hey, you want to go to the gym and try this?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Well, one thing that's interesting is so many people in the early days, including Greg, were spin coaches. Isn't that fascinating? So they were spin coaches, but they also obviously did other things in the gym. But so I've heard that so many times from the old days that people were spin coaches as part of one of the things that they did at a gym as an instructor.
Yeah, I think for me it was, the fact that I was also doing a lot of other stuff. Like I played soccer, I was doing triathlon for fun. I just wanted to try different things, and I honestly didn't feel trustworthy sitting there as a spin coach or a body pump coach telling people that, if you do this for the rest of your life, you're going to constantly evolve your fitness, blah, blah, blah. So it just came natural for me to read magazines and try things. So I think that might be like a common thing for many of us. Like we wanted something more, something else, I guess.
And so you experimented with CrossFit with yourself, quickly experimented with the class. And what did you see that motivated you to be like, "Hey, we're going to take this to the next level. I'm going to take my level 1." Like, what were you seeing in your cohort and on yourself?
Just a massive energy, positive feedback. People were actually working out. We still didn't have anywhere to do the workout, so it was only outdoors. So we realized that I didn't even know, I think, that you could affiliate. So it was actually my friend that like, "Man, we have to affiliate. We need to do this level 1 thing." And we just did it, or he went and did it before me. And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I think it was more, as I said, I was also a teacher and a principal back then. And I have always wanted to sort of deliver things that I honestly believe in. Like if I'm going to be a teacher or a principal, I want to be in the best possible way, because otherwise it really doesn't work. I enjoyed being a spin coach and body pump coach, but I didn't really believe in it long term, even though it was fun. So we just saw that people really enjoyed it, and we saw that there was potential. So we just wanted to do something else, both of us being kind of entrepreneurial as well. So I think it just came with wanting to decide, because the gym that we were in, they didn't have room for it. They weren't that interested in what we were doing. So it was kind of the obvious next step for us.
Did you notice, superficially speaking, did you notice anything different? Did you have a body composition shift personally? Like you?
Oh yeah. What's
going on to this guy? Yeah.
10 more kilos of my body now than before. So
Wow.
yeah, I was, a lot of running, a lot of cycling, a lot of soccer playing back then. I think I was at like 72 kilos, and now I'm between 80 and 82. So yeah.
Okay, so you put on a pound of 2 pounds, a kilo of muscle every year, basically.
Something like that. So I'm not as good a runner anymore.
Right. And how old were you back then when you found CrossFit?
So this is 16 years ago. So 33.
Okay. Say I was 34 when I found it. Interesting.
Yeah.
And did it change other things in your life too? Did it change you change your diet through CrossFit?
So diet has always been my weakness. So
Me too.
I wouldn't say so, but Perhaps a bit. I don't know really, actually, because I've never tracked it, never really digged into it. So I don't know.
When I started, I smoked cigarettes.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I always put sugar in my coffee. I was just talking with a friend about this the other day. I forgot I used to put sugar in my coffee, and then because being with and then I quit smoking because I just wanted to get better at CrossFit.
Yeah.
And then of course eventually I'm like, no one puts sugar in their coffee. And then after,
No.
you know, being around the CrossFit rhetoric of like,
Yeah.
hey, sugar kills. It's the origin of all of our diseases. Now to this day, I think, wow, how did I ever put sugar in my coffee? That's insane.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. No, I think for me it wasn't that big a shift really. I'm gluten intolerant, so I wasn't eating gluten. Obviously, you know, we experimented with the zone diet and then the paleo, but paleo I could do that for like 2 days, and then it was too hard for me. So I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, listen, it's for me too. I'm a 2006 guy, and it's still every month I feel like I'm trying to be like, oh, I'm going to start my diet today. I'm going to start my new nutrition program today.
Yeah, yeah,
Every
exactly.
month. Okay, so you you find this, you're passionate about it. You see obviously that it works. You see that your clientele likes it, and you open your first gym. And how does this get you to? And then I know that you ended up doing a lot of stuff with James Fitzgerald also over at OPEX,
Mm.
which
Yeah,
which makes me think that you really are someone who wants to consume a lot of information and become the best, right? You're like, okay, what's this guy doing over here? What's this guy doing over
yeah.
here? So you were a consumer of a lot of information. Oh, let me go back. Do you remember who your level 1 coaches were? In HQ?
Adrian Bosman was the floor master at least. That's the
Uh-huh.
only one I remember. So
Okay.
he's still got the CrossFit Nortelia T-shirt that I gave him. I guess that's my biggest CrossFit achievement.
And where did you take your level 1? What city?
Copenhagen in Denmark.
Yeah. And that's a real hotbed for CrossFit, right? Denmark?
Yeah, it was like at an army base outside of Copenhagen. So yeah, it was midsummer's weekend actually, which is, you know, midsummer in Sweden is a big thing. So my family wasn't super happy, but yeah, it had to be done.
And then tell me how the idea for coaches. First, tell me what Coaches Congress is, and then
All
what's
right.
the idea behind it, the birth of it.
Okay.
Please.
Well, Coaches Congress for us is a learning event for owners and coaches in micro gyms, studios. What we want to do is we want to help gym owners grow their businesses and lead better lives, basically, and be able to stay in the business as gym owners.
Yeah.
That's the short version.
And what are the components for staying in? The most obvious one is to be fiscally sound, right? To be able to pay your rent.
Yeah. But then, you know, everything else from what we try and teach in Two Brain comes into play. So since not everyone decides to join a mentorship practice, we just want people to see that there are other ways of doing things. There are like best practices, and then there are not so good practices. And we just want people to be a bit more curious and not to like get stuck in their beliefs on what is possible and not possible. We want to keep it very open-minded. We want to help people, like if they do one thing every year, at least come to the Coaches Congress, because they get so busy with their gyms, they just get stuck. So it's just somewhere to go where they can get some new input, hopefully take home 1 or 2 new ideas and try and implement things. Connect them to a network.
Yeah.
And then and by network you mean to be have resources and meet with other like-minded people or people who are on the same journey of running what you call a micro gym. Just to be very clear, you said it's for gym owners, but is it also for prospective gym owners?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Okay, so for gym owners, and so it's predominantly around the success of opening one of these gyms from idea to let's go for swing for the fences to a thriving business, a thriving gym.
Yeah.
Let me ask you the big question. I heard someone say the other day that you can't get rich owning a gym, and I didn't like that because I don't like arguing other people's limitations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really don't like. For me, like maybe you can find a place where there's a clientele and you can provide a service that's worth it to people. So you think that's not true?
Of course, that's not true. And we know it because, we certify millionaires in Two Brain. I
Yeah.
have friends who run gyms who are millionaires. I think, didn't you have like my Norwegian colleague on the podcast, Magnus? Did I see
Maybe,
it wrong? I don't
maybe.
know.
Hopefully, if I did, I'm sorry, Magnus.
Or perhaps I saw.
Let me define rich. By rich, I mean this. You open a business and you become independently wealthy regardless of that business, meaning you can put gas in your car, you can clothe yourself, and that if your business if you lost your business, you would still be, you somehow had the discretionary income to invest to, you know what I mean, over a 20-year period of running this gym. Now all of a sudden you're like, well, now my gym isn't vital to my
Exactly.
lifestyle. Okay.
I mean, freedom of time, freedom of money.
Okay, freedom of time. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, absolutely possible.
Good. Okay, so we're on the same page there. There's no reason to argue the limitations of where you can go.
No, exactly. Who decides, right? I mean,
Right.
it's up to you.
Right. So tell me about the very first coaches congress.
All right.
And by at this point, Henrik's not in the picture yet, right? He came in 2018.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about the first coaches congress. This is 2011.
I think it's 2013.
Okay.
I'm not very good at remembering things, so
Me neither.
I'll do my best.
I won't hold you to any of it. I won't hold.
No one really knows.
Yeah. Okay.
So what do you want, the long version or the short version?
Yeah, let me hear the long version. I'm really interested in what you guys are doing.
Okay.
There's so much positive noise around this thing.
Yeah. I'm glad for that. So I think so. Running my first CrossFit gym, went and was a judge at what was then called the Swedish Championship of CrossFit in 2010. I saw that there were opportunities to arrange competitions and do it like even better. So we started running a CrossFit competition, which quickly became like the biggest elite competition in Sweden. So we did that for a couple of years. So
What was that called?
Roslagen Open. So,
okay. No wonder you didn't say it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, it was very popular, and that sort of built my network in the CrossFit community. And I was still working as a leadership consultant. So I was traveling in Sweden and Finland, often presenting and doing lectures at events like the Coaches Congress, but within the school system. So I could be one of 5 presenters on a day or something like that. So I had this network in CrossFit. I could see that I wasn't very good at running gyms or a business myself. So I could see that there are things I need to learn. So obviously it must be the same with other gym owners. And I had the network. I was a consultant. So I saw an opportunity to create something. And I also saw the need to do something for the community. So I guess I just took a couple of good ideas and put them together into another idea. Started texting friends from the competition mainly, like, guys, I'm going to do this weekend outside of Stockholm. It's like a 2-day conference for gym owners and coaches. You want to come? Asked around like Mads Jakobsen and a couple of other like big names in Sweden. Do you want to present at this event? And everyone obviously and of course was like, yeah, this is great, man. So people just showed up. I think we were 84, mainly Swedish gym owners, 2 guys from Finland, 1 female gym owner from Norway, and that's it. And yeah, basically did a 2-day event with lectures, and it was super fun. The feedback was great. Everyone enjoyed it, lectures and workouts during the day, and then a couple of good beers in the evening, just hanging out with because it was such an underground feeling being a CrossFitter back then. Everyone else was stupid. CrossFitters were the best, and we just enjoyed that. And then it just built from that. So a couple of years just growing and growing from that part. So that's like the first event.
What were the presenters like at that first event? What were the main topics, and have the topics changed to today?
Yes, it was much more oriented towards like coaching or preventing injuries, etc. So it was much more coaching oriented, almost only coaching oriented. We had my first gym, we had hired like a sales mentor early on. So he was one of the only presenters who talked about something else than coaching, actually. So, injury prevention, coaching, everything like that, mainly. And then it started shifting more and more over the years. And then we started 2 separate tracks. So we had tracks for owners and tracks for coaches, started adding workshops a couple of years later. So it just evolved with the audience and with like my increased knowledge around business and mentoring and stuff like that.
And was it quickly, I guess the beginning of it, the inception of it was to make people successful. And so that what I'm hearing you say is you guys were adding things, tools to the Congress, to the event that you believe were critical to making gyms successful. And since you were running it as a coach, as a gym owner, you also know the value of these people's times and the resources that it takes to get there. I'll give you an example. I hate to pick on doctors, but doctors will have these events, right, to get extra credit. These events where they have to go to them in order to get more education to maintain doctors. But these events are bullshit, right? They'll be paid by pharma, there'll be sales pitches, and there'll be golf courses. But this isn't what this is. This is like, hey, you understand that these people's time is valuable, their resources are limited, and they're there to get something.
Yeah.
And how much did it cost to go to the first Coaches Congress as a participant?
I think it was like $85.
Okay. And today, how much is it?
It varies, right? It depends
on when you buy the tickets.
Yeah.
When you buy them?
Let's say between.
I'm an early bird guy.
Yeah, you're the earliest. Then would be like $250, and then up towards $500 at the end.
Okay, so it's not expensive.
Not really, no.
Yeah, you've kept the price down. I mean, it sounds very sounds very inexpensive. Okay, so you do this first one, and then do you know you're going to do a second one?
Yeah, to me it was obvious. Yeah, I wanted to. I think perhaps one of my strengths as an entrepreneur is coming up with ideas, but also like having the ability to look at least a bit, into the future. So I wanted to position myself as someone in the CrossFit community in Scandinavia, because first, I really want to help gym owners and coaches, but also it was a great business opportunity to be the one creating that platform. So if you are the one creating a platform, you know that you will be in connection with people or with businesses that could possibly help you improve or grow your business later on. So it presents me with a lot of business opportunities. It presents me with a lot of good connections. So yeah, I had a long-term plan, absolutely. Not necessarily that we should be all over the world, but at least I wanted to create a strong platform in Scandinavia. Absolutely.
And have you had one every year, 2013 through 2025?
Except for the pandemic, or did we did it during the pandemic too, or did we cancel it one year?
No, we didn't. We did one in January 2020. We were lucky, and then we had to postpone 2021 to April instead.
Okay, so you made it every year.
Yeah, because Sweden never really closed down because we are so smart.
Thank you. You are. You are.
But yeah, so we were lucky in terms of having a very big gym where we could arrange the event, and the regulations like gave us the permission, or sort of the ability to actually run the event. Yes.
Did it evolve quickly? Did 14 look different than did 13 look different than 14? And has it been growth the whole time from 13 to 25?
Not really, actually, because it didn't evolve that quickly. It grew. It did. It did grow, but like second year, I think we were like 120. Third year, it grew a bit more. I added workshops to that event, but it was only marketed through Facebook and Messenger, so it was still only my personal network. 2018, we moved the event to the West Coast because we wanted to collaborate a bit with Eleiko, who had built their new headquarters there. And geographically, that wasn't a good move because it made it harder for people to come. So that year it was actually smaller.
And when you say West Coast, just for the listeners, you mean the West Coast
Sweden.
of Europe?
Yeah, in Sweden.
Sweden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was still a small event back then, and it was harder for people to travel there. But the good thing about that year was that Jimmy Ledford came and he was impressed by the event. So he asked the audience, like, who do you want me to bring next year? And everyone was like, Greg Glassman. So we had him booked for 2019. And that really made the event international for the first time. I think we had like 16 or 17 countries represented. And we had a strong lineup without him as well, with Chris Cooper and other mentors from Two Brain. We had Keegan Martin from Brand X. We had Carl Hardwick, among others, from OPEX. So it was a really strong lineup.
And I don't remember, did Greg go to that in 2019?
No.
No. He canceled 2 weeks before, actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Jimmy called me on my mobile phone like 11, 12 days beforehand and said, sorry, man, he's not coming. So
Rory had to come and cover for him.
Oh, Rory did come out there?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I asked for 2 replacements. I wanted Rory, and then I wanted Daniel Chaffee.
Oh, did Daniel go?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's been a regular since. He's been speaking at 4 or 5 events so far, and now he's coming to a couple of more. So
yeah, Daniel's an incredible man.
Yeah, he's a good friend.
Yeah, he passion pours off that guy. He's a great guy.
Absolutely.
What a special human. He is able to navigate so many waters.
Yeah, for sure.
So then when does Henrik come into play? Is that 2018?
Yeah, it was the event where we actually swapped completely to have presentations in English, and when we had Jimmy Ledford and we had someone from Two Brain coming over, and James Fitzgerald came over too. And that's actually when I decided that I should become a coach. So I became an OPEX coach.
Did you do it in Scottsdale?
No, I did mine when they started to do the CCP mainly online and remotely and so on. So I did that later. But both Heather and I are actually active OPEX coaches still. And fun fact, James Fitzgerald and his family has been staying in this house in Spain as our guest a few years back.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
And what is CCP?
It's the coaching program for OPEX.
What do you know what it stands for?
That's a very
we should know. We should know.
That's embarrassing.
Listen, I was born in 1972, so when I hear a bunch of C's and a P, I just
that's Russia.
Yeah.
Ice hockey, Soviet Union ice hockey.
Yeah, I think of the Soviet Union.
Yep, for sure.
And how did you two meet, Per and Henrik? How did you guys meet, Henrik?
I think I came to maybe 1 or 2 events, 2016, 2017. We had a travel company in the fitness industry too, helping gym owners take their members to from Northern Europe to the sun and have a week of training and having fun together. So we came to help the event, sponsor the event, and so it was that was the first business to business aspect of Coaches Congress. It was mainly us and Eleiko. But then yeah, as usual, I couldn't help myself, so I suggested to Per that we can do something bigger, more international out of this. So that was 2018, and then we've been a team since then.
So how did you hear about it? Because of your relationship with Eleiko and Per's relationship with Eleiko? Is that how you what's this CrossFit organization thing?
That's a very good question. I bought equipment from Eleiko and helped them with some deal with something, and I can't even remember.
No.
Our fitness travel company was mainly focused on general fitness and triathlon triathletes when we started, and then I met a guy who still has a couple of CrossFit gyms in Gothenburg, and that's how I got the connection.
It was through Marcus.
Yeah, from Marcus. Yeah, from CrossFit Göta. So that's the connection. And then I contacted Per and asked if we could be at the event as a sponsor, and then we started to talk. So
he loved that call. Everyone loves a call from someone who wants to be a sponsor.
Yeah, for sure.
Show me the money.
I don't have time for you. I want to be sponsored. Oh yeah, come on over.
Yeah.
Hey, Henrik, I'm trying to get my head wrapped around what your company did or does. So if there were like the Kenyan marathon team and they needed to get to San Diego, California, do they call you and they're like, "Hey, we have 5 elite runners that need to get to San Diego," and you're like, "No problem, we'll take care of that"?
I wish, but no, the business model was different. We were helping gym owners in general from mainly Sweden, but the Scandinavian countries. We gave them a package offer to sell to their members. For instance, bring 30, 40 of your members, and we take you to Spain. We organize the flights, the accommodation, the training, the access to facilities. We also did
like vacation fitness.
Exactly, but more helping the business to business, helping the gym owners rather than going straight to the big masses. But we also did triathlon camps and cycling camps and stuff like that with high profile coaches, so they could leave in the winter to prepare for the triathlon season, stuff like that.
So for Coaches Congress, sorry, I'm a little slow here, but for Coaches Congress, something you might do is whatever, let's say it's in I see that there's going to be one in Australia in October 23rd and 24th. You would be your company would be in charge of like making sure that there's a hotel and sending someone a list of the rental car agencies that they should contact or best practices or stuff like that. You give them the travel information.
Okay, so let's take a step back here.
Yeah, please.
The company that I spoke about that we used to run when I met Per, we've sold that company. So Coaches Congress is basically an event organizer, and we source venues, which is quite a big job when you try to find a reasonably priced venue in London, Berlin, wherever. So our background as tour operators, travel agents, come into play in a big way with everything that has to do with logistics. And so to source hotels, venues, everything, and then package all of this. Obviously, the part that where Per and I work together is the lineup of call it the speaker roster, to have a mix of. We basically for each event have 20 keynotes for 2 days, keynotes or workshops, and half of them are more focused on the business side of things, help gym owners to become better at running their business, and half of them are more focused on developing the coaching skills. So that's another part of the job that we do. It's a crap load of admin work around all of this, handling the bookings. So we both work with the end consumers, being the fitness professionals, booking their tickets to come to an event. So, for instance, for the event upcoming in London, it might be 500-600 gym owners coming to that event. So we're handling that type of ticket sales. We also have on each event, we have a vendor village, between 30 and 40 different brands, everything from, software companies, clothing, equipment, all of these ranges. So they come to a vendor village, set up their stands. We started a few years back to have to build up a gym just for the weekend. So basically, well, in square feet, I would say 4,000 square feet open gym space in the middle of the vendor village, usually with some type of freestanding rig, barbells, bumper plates, to have practical workshops, and also the morning workouts, stuff like that. So it's a lot of components. It's a lot of logistics, so to speak.
The model I was kind of thinking in my head is in the United States, I don't know if you guys have, I don't know if you have Amazon in Europe, but in the United States, we have this company, Amazon, obviously. And eventually they were sending out so many packages that there was no one who could send all the packages. So they had to make their own packaging delivery company. And then they were using so much cardboard that no one could provide the cardboard. So they started their own cardboard. So basically this thing was growing, that it was like, hey, we need to have these resources internally, whether it's moving the speakers all around the world, making sure that there's a venue. And so you picked up all that. You're doing all the logistics.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So we
need 50 porta potties, and you're like, okay, we'll get those. I mean, that's important. People don't think about that shit. It's like, hey, you better have enough bathrooms if you're going to bring 500 people somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
All of us humans pee and poop. People forget that all the time.
Yeah, that's shit.
Yeah. And so how many people, what's the biggest one you've had? You've had 500 people show up to an event?
We've had over 400 for the last two. We had one in January, end of January in Stockholm, with a bit more, I think close to 500 all in all, with speakers. And then 2 weeks later in Berlin, and basically just under 500 there. So we found that a sweet spot for our event are around, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, Per, but 500-600 people. Maybe in the future we can expand it a little bit more, but we believe that the intimacy, the connection, all of that is a lot better if it's not 3,000 people.
Yeah.
The information has gotten maybe more sophisticated, more complicated. But the original success for a CrossFit gym was just have a clean bathroom.
Yeah.
And then
it's a bit more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and have a drawer that locks to collect the money. As this has changed and as this has grown, I'm sure you've seen a lot of practices that maybe at one point were best practices that are no longer best practices. You've seen things come and go, or you've seen people maybe, it might be a little harsh to say they're charlatans, but people who maybe claim they were experts who aren't necessarily weren't experts. Can you talk to me about the evolution maybe of the information, specifically around running the business, not so much around coaching?
I actually think it's been quite consistent for us since I have always been very closely connected to Two Brain, and the information coming out from us in Two Brain hasn't really changed over the years. So it's still like the same things. So I think the event itself and the information that we've had has been quite consistent. And then we do try to bring in other people as well to give other other views of it. So, but no real charlatans, I wouldn't say so. Perhaps, like an upcoming star in some tech industry or a salesperson that didn't really hit home. Right. But I think what the kind of information we have been sort of supplying and giving out has been fairly consistent, I would say.
And I know when you invite your speakers, do they pay you to be there, or do you pay them to be there, or is it a wash? How is that? What's that relationship like?
That's a secret.
Is that a secret? Well, the reason why I ask is because sometimes HQ will do that. Well, they'll charge people to speak in front of them, and at that point, I get a little suspicious, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm charging you to like, because the affiliates should be the darlings of the community, right? They should be heavily protected. You don't let anyone get in front of them who might mislead them, right?
Yeah.
So
So yeah, I mean, there's no real secret, but we also do it a bit differently. But I think this is just from my point of view, and it's not necessarily the way we run the business. But when I was running my competition, for instance, I didn't pay anyone like a starting fee or show up fee because they were a big name. I wanted them to come because the competition was good.
right.
We have tried to stay independent as an event, so we actually don't sell anything except the tickets. So because we want to be honestly independent, and we are also not interested in paying anyone like $20,000 to show up, because that would mean that next year someone else would ask us for even more. And it's not that kind of an event. We want people who are honestly engaged in either helping, or they need to be engaged in helping gym owners and coaches. It's okay for them to be here presenting and also like in order to sell or market their business, but
Right.
we couldn't afford it, and we wouldn't do it either. It would be a bit against our values to pay someone like a lot of money just to present. I think.
Can I add a little bit to that?
Please.
Yeah.
By the way, I love this. I believe people you built this, and you should vet people, and you should let people leverage what you've built if they qualify. Sorry, Henrik, go ahead.
No, so one thing that I liked from the start with the Coaches Congress was that content has always been king. We've been very, very focused on having science-based, data-driven. Everything has to be, not a guessing game, not the latest whatever. Even if we, just like Per said, we allow people to come in and do some edgy stuff sometimes to shake things up. I think that's good for everyone.
What's the word you used, Henrik? Before you said shake up, you said ageist? What?
Edgy.
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 Okay.
Yeah. So some new stuff, and but generally we're very focused on having great content, which means that we never had a problem really with we had a couple during the years where we said that that's not happening again when people have been pitching from stage, etc. So we actually being pretty strict with the standard operating procedures for our speakers, what we expect, because we don't want inspirational talks, we want actionable content, right? Because otherwise it's no value for the attendees. If they come there just to hear about something inspirational, that's fun, but it doesn't help you with your business or your coaching. But in general, when it comes to the speakers, the way we've come to a point now where we're so fortunate that people are pitching us basically on, I shouldn't say daily, but definitely weekly. We get emails, we get video pitches, etc. And we can almost pick and choose. And we've also come to a stage where, for instance, the training camps see a great value in coming to our events. So appearance money, for instance, doesn't exist, and we wouldn't even think about it. First of all, we don't have to. Second, we don't believe that's the way for us to go. Even if we have maybe some more famous speakers nowadays, it helps ticket sales for sure, absolutely. But the content is always what the focus should be on, and that's what we take pride in.
So, at first it didn't make sense to me why it would benefit training camps, but I get it. So someone like Rich comes, he speaks there, everyone knows him, everyone knows his passion and dedication, from being on the training team to seminars to games athlete to running the affiliate. But he shows up there, he speaks, he shares a great message. There's great value to the people, but then also the benefit to him is that people get to put a face to him, and then they, as an affiliate, might be like, oh, maybe I'm going to do Mayhem I've been doing this programming, or I might do Mayhem programming. So there's that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
or another example I was thinking is, and I don't know much about this, but there's companies that out there, I think Wodify is one of them, where they help you like run your business. So they might come up there and show their platform and be like, hey, if you use our software at the end of the year, your taxes will be easier. So it's not even necessarily that they're selling something per se, but the benefit is like, even if you don't use our platform, get your shit organized. This is the value of keeping track of your members, all, you know, all those. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's what we see all the time now, like businesses getting new clients because they meet them live at one of our events. And I get that feedback from like my mentees or from other gym owners, like, yeah, you know, we signed up for them and them because, you know, we were talking to them, listening to his presentation, and he seemed like a super nice guy, yada, yada. So yeah, we have reached that point where businesses and vendors and speakers definitely see that we give them a good platform and a big reach, for sure. I mean, 22 different countries represented at one of our events, for instance. That's a good audience.
And each person there represents, or represents the 200 people who train at their gym, plus the other 10 affiliates around them. If I start doing something at my affiliate, the other 10 affiliates might be like, oh, what's that he's doing over there? So the impact is huge. I don't have a problem with Coca-Cola coming to an event and selling Coke to CrossFitters, but I do have a problem if it's not like truly transparent. Like, hey guys, we don't condone this shit. This shit will kill you, but they paid us $200,000. So that's what I was wondering. So people don't buy their way into your audience. You're not selling your audience.
No.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
I think that would never happen with anything I do, at least. And I don't think Henrik is like that either, because long term, that would hurt a brand and a business. And to me, it's always been important to be like trustworthy. It's the same with my gyms. So could never do that, I think.
No, absolutely not. And the thing is, you know, we almost always sell out our vendor villages for vendors and sponsors. And we've also actually turned down people that we don't think should be there. Their products shouldn't be there. And some cases we actually advise them not to come because we know that it doesn't work with our audience. So that's another aspect of it.
This isn't where I thought this was going, but I think that's a really important part. I would never want to take a sponsor for this podcast if I didn't think that they could walk away and think they took advantage of me. Like, I want all of them to be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Wow, we really underpaid for that. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I took $50,000 from you and if I thought you didn't get your $50,000 back in sales. I would say no. I'm not. No, that's really. Is there anything in specific that you can think of that someone tried to come in? I don't even mean like a specific brand, but you're just like, yeah, you're not a fit for this community, where like you had to be honest with them. Like, I don't know.
I know there are examples, but I don't remember the specifics. So
like, I don't even mean like the specific company either, but like just in terms of like a general product. Let's say like girdles. You know what girdles are? Those things that you tighten around your waist that make you look skinny.
Okay,
You know what I mean? And you're like, hey man, I don't think this is right. I don't think the girdle industry.
Exactly. You know, there are other things that people try to sell to the fitness industry in general that wouldn't work with, you know, the functional fitness and CrossFit community. So some examples like that have absolutely, like, I don't think this would work actually. So thank you, but no thank you. Absolutely.
To get the most out of the Congress, it's interesting. You said you switched to English. What language were you before? It was Swedish.
Yeah.
The original one.
Yeah.
It's a bit limiting.
Yeah, I don't know anyone besides you two that maybe speak Swedish. Is there so basically, to get the most out of the Congress, you have to speak English. Do you do any things in other languages? Like, do you do a Portuguese one or a Spanish one?
No, but we have started to do something really cool that we tested now as a beta test in Berlin. We were working with a European, I think Austrian software company with simultaneous interpretation using AI. So we basically we we connected a laptop to what do you call it, the AV equipment, the mixing table, whatever you call it, so that when Rich was on stage, the sound went through the software, and then using AI translated, we tested it with, I believe, Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese. So he was actually speaking Portuguese to the people from Portugal. So what they needed to do is to download an app on their phones, and scan a QR code, put their earbuds in, and listen to Rich speaking.
People
Spanish
who
or
were there
whatever.
in the audience, or people remotely viewing?
No.
Audience.
In the audience. So we tested
Did it
this
work?
with.
What did they say? I've tried some AI translations of this podcast. It's a shit show.
They tried to give us feedback, but it was in Italian, so we didn't understand.
They loved it.
Yeah, exactly. Put it this way: it works better with some presenters than others.
Okay.
One thing that is extremely hard for AI is to get the whole full picture if someone is speaking too fast with no pauses. Someone who is more of taking these pauses and speak a bit slower, then AI can keep up, get the full picture, and give you a better translation. But we're betting on that AI will be so much better in a year's time, because we're all unofficially, now officially coming to Madrid for an event, which is only 4 hours away from here, where the majority of the audience will be from most likely France, Italy, Spain, Portugal, and then it has to work. So, but we've heard that you can train the AI too. We haven't just heard it. We know that we can train it. We can add, what do you call it in English? A glossary of 500 fitness words. Could be anything from WOD to whatever, clean, jerk. Could also be that you decide that you don't want to translate CrossFit as a word. So it's a lot of things that we can do actively to help the AI to translate in a better way. But one big challenge would be to coach our presenters for that event to actually not speak too fast, to be a little bit less excited, or so that's a pretty cool thing.
It's harder with sorry.
Go ahead, Bear.
No, it's harder with some accents as well. So had a Welsh friend, and it actually didn't work at all. It just came out as gibberish with a lot of letters and stuff. So we made fun of him for sure. But yeah. So.
What's crazy is my I don't know if you guys remember this, but before the iPhones, our phones had actual keyboards on them.
Oh yeah.
And when they announced the first iPhone, they said that it would be smart and the keyboard would eventually learn your mistakes and correct for them. My shit has never corrected. I have all the same problems that I've had from 20 years ago. That's the dumbest keyboard ever. And it still turns fuck into duck every time.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? We've been together 16 iPhones now. What are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever had we had a penis pump here. As a sponsor for the podcast. It's this device you put on your penis and you pump it up, and supposedly after a month's worth of use, if you don't injure your penis, if you don't overinflate it, supposedly after a month it would grow. Have you ever had a penis pump in Vendor Village?
We don't need it in Scandinavia.
Oh, understood.
Oh.
Hey, listen, this, what's crazy? This is a European company. And just, this is a side note, but the devices, they're not a sponsor anymore, so they've been shelved. This is a $200 device. It looks like a bong, right? Like you smoke weed out of. I don't know if you guys do that in Sweden, but they've sold over 1 million of these. So I did the math: $200 times 1 million.
Wow.
One company.
Yeah. Never had them sponsored. No.
Okay, all right. They say that they're FDA health device, help with blood flow.
Well,
perhaps, probably.
Yeah, maybe they need a booth. Do Per and Henrik fight when hockey is played between Sweden and Finland? Oh,
We're from the same country.
Oh, okay.
So we are
Yeah.
always from the winning country, Sweden. So, you know.
My wife and I, we fight a lot. She's Canadian, I'm Swedish, so we sit at a different part of the sofa when we play. So
Hockey's the big sport there? Does everyone know hockey?
hockey
Soccer is the
and
biggest.
yeah, soccer, football. Yeah,
You have 4 this year of these coaches
correct.
congresses. Of when the attendance of these, are they predominantly CrossFit gyms? I know in the beginning you said micro gyms, or what's the split like?
It's Henrik, I guess, or that's for you to answer.
Yeah,
I
no,
guess.
I can tell you this much, that the Stockholm event, which is the most mature event that's been around for longest, we have I think we have around 60% affiliates, and the rest is a mix of functional fitness, High Rocks affiliates, PT studios, etc. All coaching gyms, I would say, different type of coaching gyms, and predominantly some type of functional equipment. When you go to our newer events, we have a lot bigger percentage of CrossFit affiliates.
Because 60 seems high to me, but you're saying that in other places it's even higher. Like you have one in London, one in Australia, and one in Berlin.
Yeah, we have over time built a very good relationship especially with country managers, regional managers for CrossFit. Very much thank you, Mr. Chaffee, for introducing. So we basically, an informal partnership, put it that way, where we give CrossFit another place to meet affiliate owners and coaches, and in return they help us a bit with the marketing in the network. So it's been a good way to work together so far.
The first one was in Stockholm.
Yep.
And this is, I see that you're growing all over Europe. Have you ever done one in the United States?
Not yet.
And what about South America, where they don't really speak English?
It's we've been approached by people from various parts of the world, everything from UAE, Dubai, that region, actually Brazil and US. The trick for us, the way we pick the location, is obviously we need to know that there is a need for it, or that there is a way for us to access the market, to get enough people to come there. And I think that a place like Brazil is definitely possible for the future, but then the AI translation needs to work really well, because I foresee that we will continue to have English as an official language for our events. We might have some speakers doing a local language like Portuguese or Spanish, but generally English, and that limits the locations too.
And I know your mentor at Two Brain Pair. Are there any, like, anecdotally speaking, things that are just hugely different in best practices as you go to different continents or different countries or different areas? Superficially speaking, running a gym in Manhattan, downtown Manhattan, I'm guessing would be different because of a population density, cost of living, versus, in a warehouse in Stockholm somewhere, or outside.
Yeah, of course. But then that difference would be based more on like the density and the population, not the cultural differences necessarily. I think a lot of people have always had that prejudice. Like, for instance, when I started bringing like Two Brain mentors to the Coaches Congress event, some people were like, that's an American model, I don't believe in it. And I was like, actually, they're Canadian, and these are universal processes around selling or delivering services that works everywhere. So I think there's no big differences in terms of running gyms and being service minded. But I think people want to have that as an excuse if they are failing, or if they want to sort of disregard something that they have been listening to, like I don't believe in it, it's too American, or it's too blah blah blah. So I don't really see any main differences, actually, not based on countries or stuff like that. No.
Let me ask you this, totally off subject, just pick your brain here. Why aren't there 10,000 CrossFit gyms in India or China? Or maybe there are micro gyms there. I don't know the gym business there. But you have
there
these
are a few
epicenters of people, right? And or I wonder why this hasn't taken off in Japan. And maybe it has, and maybe I'm misspeaking. But in places where there's just tons of people, what do you think the reason is? It economic? Is it cultural? Is it I'm just wrong? They got their own CrossFit?
It's hard to say, but I think so. The country manager for India was actually at our last event in London, and I think
CrossFit has an India country manager.
Yep. Good man.
Who's that? What's his name?
I don't remember. It's very hard to pronounce.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. Listen, we can barely say each other's names. We're good.
But
I don't want to butcher it.
Yeah,
no,
that's awesome. That makes me happy to hear that. India's a fascinating country. They need CrossFit. What a great place.
Yeah, but I think there's so many different reasons. I think, but
like Rambler says, it's cultural priorities. But listen, when you have 1.5 billion people there has to be even pockets. Let's say you said it was economic. Well, okay, but we know that there's a lot of rich people in India.
Yeah, of course. I think there might be other reasons, like you might have a culture or a tradition of doing a lot of other different sports instead. Like I would guess that in some Asian countries, martial arts are really big, for instance. So perhaps that's the thing you do.
Right.
I know that in Norway, like cross-country skiing is the shit. So why would I do CrossFit?
Right.
So it could be explanations like that. I don't know. Also, some countries are slower to pick up on trends from the West, like USA. Sweden and Scandinavia has always been very Western oriented. Like what's going on in the US or in the UK is often coming to Scandinavia 2, 3, 4, 5 years later. So it could be that. I've had mentees from all the different continents except South America so far. So I know that there are, CrossFit gyms, but I also think it takes time to build a community or to make something grow. So I don't know, really.
It's a trip because we all have the same. We're all the same. It's just dudes. It's just dudes and gals, right?
Yeah.
Just boys and girls. And if we work out and we try to eat this certain way, we're going to have all of the same response. And we all know, we all do it because we all know that, like, even if you can only do CrossFit 2 days a week, it's going to make your cross country skiing better. And you can even work your cross country skiing into your, workout. So it's fascinating to me. For some reason, I thought that by now it would have exploded in some of those places, but I don't know what it is that makes it so it hasn't. I mean,
I've been told that South Korea is one of the fastest growing markets for CrossFit.
Right.
And I know that because Don Fall and the team went there last year, I believe, and so on. So I think it, in a certain way, it requires, if the expression is right, a perfect storm in some ways for coincidences, whatever you'd like to call them. But I agree with Per that we're what do you call it, Anglophiles in Sweden. We do a lot what the people do in the UK and the US and Canada and so on, and there might be a completely different view of that in some Asian countries, for instance. I don't know.
Right. How does been a lot of rumblings of the sale of CrossFit. Oh, let me go back. How did it affect Coaches Congress? How did it affect you guys when Greg sold the company? What was the or tell me, did the mood change at all at these events?
No.
And why is that? Because these people are singularly focused on running their own businesses, their own gyms?
And
I
also
think
perhaps have the ability to see that this is perhaps not really going to affect us that much, because, if I run my gym professionally, it's like it's still me and my community, my gym. Perhaps I have always considered, at least when we were still only like in Scandinavia, I have always considered the Scandinavian gym owners or the market as being fairly mature, fairly professional, even though they are like rookie entrepreneurs, but still fairly professional. I don't know. Sorry, Henrik, I interrupted you.
no. I think I just think that we're a bit away from the American market, and yeah, people might not have cared that much, and for us, it didn't matter at all, to be honest. And I'm not sure if it will matter with the new owner now either.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. And the reason why is because why doesn't it matter? Tell me why it doesn't matter.
I think we have never sold it based on CrossFit. We have never sold it based on a name. As Henrik said, it's like it's the professional content that makes people come back. Perhaps first timers sometimes come because of a famous name, but they keep
Yeah.
coming back and they bring their team because of the content and the community and the atmosphere. We do give them value. So then it really doesn't matter whether it's because it's not a CrossFit event even, right? So it really doesn't matter who's running CrossFit.
And when you say content, you mean the training, the coaching, the
keynotes,
people in your
workshops.
gym. But sorry, Henrik, I didn't mean specifically the coaches congress, but I meant like the businesses that are
Okay.
these micro gyms. Sorry.
Yeah.
The reason why it doesn't matter necessarily to them, that's the way I was taking it, is because at the end of the day, their content, which is how they greet people, how they coach people, the results they're getting, are the only thing that matter to the success of their business.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I think, it's been kind of interesting lately because there have been some affiliates de-affiliating in Sweden as well. And what they try and do when they do that is they try to find allies among other affiliates in Sweden. So they post in our affiliate groups, etc. I think everyone should leave, blah, blah, blah. Most of those people are people who have not been coming to the Coaches Congress, for instance. They are also not very good at running their gym, so they use it as an excuse. So I think if you have confidence in your business and in your skills as a leader and in your services with your gym, if you have true connection to your members, it really doesn't matter whether Greg Glassman or someone else is running CrossFit, because it's the methodology, right? So yeah, it doesn't matter.
Were you going to say something, Henrik?
No.
So let's say I'm going to go down this route a little bit. Let's say it doesn't matter with you. So it doesn't matter. So then there's almost a risk at being, there's a risk at being connected to HQ. Like, for example, when Greg made the Twitter post, Floyd 19, if you have the name CrossFit on there and the media is pushing that this was something negative, that could reflect onto you, even though you're just doing the same content, same results every single day. So do you think that maybe there's even more of a risk of being affiliated than a benefit, because something could happen from the mothership?
I wouldn't say so, especially not over here in Europe. I think, so for instance, with my first gym, most people in my hometown, they think that I founded CrossFit.
Awesome.
So I am CrossFit.
Yeah.
Right?
I love it. Yeah.
Most people have no idea who Greg Glassman is. Most people don't know about CrossFit Games, etc., etc., etc. So it's so hard to say. I do not consider it a risk. I do think that sometimes we have to navigate some of the things that are being communicated from CrossFit HQ, but you also have to understand that some things that might be considered a strength in the US, for instance, is actually a risk in itself in other parts of the world. Like, we don't necessarily celebrate hero workouts.
So that might be a cultural risk. Like, hey, why are you celebrating a guy who went overseas and was fighting wars and killing people?
Could be like that in different countries, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
The Jains in India would not like that at all.
Perhaps not.
Yeah. Because as this thing gets close to sale again, which I do believe it's getting very close to sale again, I always wonder like how many times, when you're a kid and you used to copy a tape so many times, like every new girlfriend you make another copy of the tape and you hand it to her.
Yeah.
At some point, is it going to lose its? I think of CrossFit. I'm friends with Chris Cooper, but I think of CrossFit. I think a little bit differently than a lot of other people. I think a lot of people like in your background, Chris's background, see it from the business perspective, and I'm so thankful and glad you do. I'm not here to convince you of otherwise, but I think of CrossFit as a as a set of values.
I agree.
And I think of High Rocks as a really fucking cool event for fit people to go express the fitness that they've learned, just like the marathon or your local soccer thing. I think it's a Spartan race. I think those things are great because you work so hard, you might as well get out there and express your and I think High Rocks should be run very like a business so it can grow and grow, and I think that's how it spreads. I don't. Every time this thing sells, I feel like there's the potential that some of the values are going to get compromised. That someone's going to be like, okay, it's okay to eat a little sugar, and then the rest of us are going to be like,
yeah.
So, any concerns about that? As because big picture thinking.
More connected to my gyms than the Coaches Congress, I would say, because the Coaches Congress is like, we cater to gym owners and coaches no matter what methodology they use. But with my gyms, yes, there would be some concern because I think, obviously Greg was very value driven. I am very, very value driven. That's why I also like being part of Two Brain. So I agree with you on that. Like it's a set of values. So in terms of that, like, and the brand and the methodology for my gyms in the future, there is a risk, of course.
When people go to Coaches Congress, do you think do they have themes? Do they ever have like themes like, okay, this one's specifically going to be on getting new clients, or this one's specifically going to, and then the coaches part will be specifically on injury, or are there different themes ever for specific coaches congresses?
Yeah, there are, but not that specific as the ones you mentioned. Like more of a broader theme, right, Henrik? Like level up, something like that. Yep. So yeah,
we try to cover all or most of the important aspects on each of the event in terms of sales, marketing, retention, social media, different types of coaching and so on. So we don't want to narrow it down too much because people might only go to one. But on the other hand, we're now seeing that some people that tend to go to all of them.
That's cool.
Yeah, we had a couple that went to their first event in Stockholm, a Spanish couple, and then they said, "Oh, we come to Berlin," and now they booked London. So we kind of, without really planning for it, we've kind of been building a community where people, they meet at our events because that's a great meeting spot for friendship or professional networking and so on. So yeah, I love that aspect of it too.
It's actually quite tricky to put together a good event with topics and themes, but we try, and we do want something around selling or marketing because that's something you would always need to be better at. We do want something around leadership, how to become a better leader, or how to just change your mindset to becoming a better leader, or whatever it would be, right? We do want something around marketing. We do try to add something around nutrition, etc. But we also don't want to repeat ourselves too much. So it's actually trickier than I think people would expect.
Absolutely.
What's the most popular? Is there a most popular one? Like the one that, like, if you put up this, every Coaches Congress has it, and it's like, oh, that one's gonna get crowded quick.
I can tell you that that's our practical workshops that we do in the gym space, because it's always very limited amount of slots that we can have. So that's always popular, obviously. But then I think it's more actually the personalities of the speakers combined with a topic that attracts people. Sometimes, obviously, a bit of star quality as well. But I wouldn't say that it's any specific topics. Would you, Per? Or
I don't really think so. I was thinking while you were speaking. I think that's also one of the things that I like, because we do get positive feedback for so many different reasons, and with all the different presenters. Some people love listening to Ben Bergeron because he's so good talking about mindset stuff, right? I must say that I really love listening to him as well. Other people are really interested in how to sell or communicate better on social media, or like specific sales training. So they like that. And then, so it's so different, I think. And, some coaches, they are really nerdy. So they want like someone who's presenting on something very specific around shoulder injuries or something. So
Right.
so different what you're looking for and what you appreciate. We have people coming to us like, okay, so this was the worst presentation this weekend, and then another person come and say about the same presentation, this is the best ever.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's so hard.
that is the tricky part, for sure.
It's crazy. I'll get that after podcast. Someone will be like, worst guest ever, and then right below it'd be like, have them on again, please.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Can't wait to get more. What about really quick, what's a practical workshop? You said that might be one of the more popular ones because of limited access. What's that mean? Like how to run a gym actually? Or
it basically, the way we try to explain it is that world-class coaches teaching coaches how to become better at coaching this specific thing. That could be Dave Durante from Power Monkey Fitness, for instance. Yep. They are great people supporting our events. They've basically been to the last 3-4 events now, him and Mike Service. And so Dave do maybe handstands or something along those lines with 25-30 people. And then Mike Service is doing the snatch or whatever it is. So that's what I meant with a practical workshop. So it's not necessarily just a workshop where people work together. It's you do it in the gym, but we build up the gym. Yeah.
At the 2008 CrossFit Games, when they were at the ranch, I called the guy who runs D-Ball. The original D-Balls, those yellow ones. I think the website is D-Ball. Do you know this? Do you know this thing? Let me see if I can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The big yellow ones from back in the day. And I told him, I said, hey, you should come to Vendor Village and sell balls. And he goes, I've been to a lot of events. We don't really sell. We don't sell them at events. And I said, hey, dude, you should come. You can sell fucking CrossFitters rocks. They'll buy fucking anything that if you can pick it off the ground, they'll buy it. Like, I'm there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I had already spent probably $1,000 with them, so I knew. And I was one of those people that I would have bought a rock. And so he shows up there, and in the first 10 minutes, he sold all his balls or something like that. Like all his demo balls, everything gone. I mean, he only brought like 15 balls with him, right? But he's like, what is going on here? I'm like, dude. It made me think of it when you said practical. These people want to move. They want to live.
Yeah.
They want to no matter what's going on, these people want, like, this is a group of people that wants to move.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think that's also something interesting about presenters who are not from the CrossFit community, because CrossFitters, they can't really sit still. So during the presentations and the lectures, they keep stretching, walking around. Very always moving around.
What about have you ever had a speaker on how to sell a gym? Because that would be a
I
fun
know.
one too. What if that was a really popular? What if like you brought a speaker? They're like, how to package and fill your gym.
exactly.
Like 1,200 people show up for that one.
Probably, right? Because we
Yeah.
do have courses around it in Two Brain. So
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah,
that's a good
exactly.
idea for a topic, actually.
Did you just take a note, Pair, on something I said? I looked. Did you
I
make a little
did
note? Okay,
take
yeah.
a mental note on that.
All right.
I did.
When is this? When is the next coaches congress?
The next one is in London, first weekend of October. So we did our first one last year in October, and we outgrew the venue the first year. So we're moving into a very cool place. We're moving into the home of England rugby. So it's an 82,000 seat arena that has a convention center and a hotel built into it. So yeah, that's a very cool one. So it's coming up, and we have we actually have Mayhem and Rich as our presenting partners for that one.
Oh, congratulations! Look at Jake Chapman says he'll be there from the Isle of Man. There you go.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
cool.
Of course. See you there, Jake.
Henrik,
and
sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, and then with the next one is the first one we've done in Australia. So we're teaming up with the competition down under championship. So we do a long weekend where we are like the Thursday, Friday, and then the competition starts Friday afternoon. And when we're basically ready, and then the competition is on for the weekend, so people can travel to this place and both learn and have fun and watch a great competition at the same weekend.
Is there a reason why they're not spread out through the year and you kind of have them all in this between October and February?
Yeah, it's very much navigating competitions, other events, the game season. So yeah, we are planning to add a fifth one in April next year. So hopefully that will work well, depending on what the new season will be. But end of April will be a Madrid event. But yeah, it has been tricky. And this year's Stockholm ended up being the same weekend as Wodapalooza in Miami. So which scared us a little bit first, but it worked really well.
That's interesting because different consumers, right? You're not sure if you're going to be cannibalizing each other, but it sounds like you've realized that you have different consumers, or that there's enough to go around.
I would say that the tricky part is that some of our presenters, or more high profile presenters, they are engaged in some of the competitions like games or Rogue Invitational, etc. More that than the actual attendees. So that's not where we compete. It's more that if we want to work with Mayhem, HWPO, Proven, etc.
Okay.
And have certain athletes there for a bit of star quality, if you like.
Yeah.
So
how was Rich? Be honest. No one's listening. How was Rich? Did he do good?
You want an honest answer?
Yeah.
All right. I'm
unbiased, honest.
I can't stop praising him. Actually, I was super impressed by him and the whole team. So, yeah, really great, really generous with their time and energy. Super professional, all of them. So that was like amazing. I'm super grateful. That really impressed by the way they showed up.
Yeah, for sure. I actually told
honest.
him that. I told him that you surprised me. I didn't think that you were that good.
We do have one problem though, Saran, and that's Jake Lockhart being on your podcast and not remembering my name. So.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh
so this is like me.
He felt so bad.
I'm not angry. I'm disappointed.
Deeply hurt. Hey, he really is a beacon of light in the community, Rich.
Yeah.
He's really a unique character. There's a lot of great people in the space. He has he just doesn't he just seems to keep growing and evolving and adding more and more tools to his arsenal, staying true to himself and his values. Yeah, he's Man, he's a pleasure to be around. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, he could
No,
easily be a dickhead.
he
But
could.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
could
no,
easily,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
Right. I
But that's
think,
been
yeah.
that's been a very positive thing
Yeah.
when we've been meeting a lot of these, more high-profile people, that they've been very humble, very
Yeah.
generous, very hardworking. Because if we tell them that okay, this training camp, you do 4 keynotes, morning workouts, two times every morning, plus you do practical workshops, they are showing up. It's not a vacation when they come to our events, and
No.
they deliver. So
Yeah.
that's been fun to see.
It's a trip too because we train them. Rich is very interesting. Josh Bridges was pointing this out to me one time. We were talking, and he says, "Yeah, it can be hard for athletes who are the center of attention, and for 5 years they're just getting pummeled with questions. And so, to no fault of their own, they become trained just to interact, answering questions about themselves, right? And but when you hang out with Rich, it's like he can have a conversation like a normal person, and he can give. You know what I mean? And it's a trip.
No.
It's a trip.
Yeah.
It's a unique talent that he's always like still deflecting the attention off of himself and giving it to the other people around him.
Yeah, I think also what I was impressed by from the team is like they kept asking us like, are you guys good? Are you happy with the event? And they kept interacting with people. Like some people are shy, approaching like big celebrities, and you could see Rich like, hey man, I can see you want to talk to me. Come on, man. So he
Yes.
was very inviting, and they all were. So I mean, that's what you want. That's what you hope for when you work with bigger names like that. So yeah, super impressed by that.
I was at an event in Tennessee, and I saw Rich from across the room, and I in my mind I'm like, don't bug him. And then about 20 minutes later, he came over, and I feel his hand on my shoulder. He's like, dude, what the fuck, dude? Are you going to say hi or not? And I was just like, I felt like a total jackass, right? Like here I am thinking like, and you're right. That story is exactly it. I was probably just shy or making up some story not to bug him or go over to him. And yeah. Anything you want to tell anyone about if someone's fence sitting on whether they should go to a coaches congress or not, or any? I don't want to call it a sales pitch, but anything you want to say, like, hey, if you're not sure but you own a gym, I promise you there'll be value here. You're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, I would say like, honestly, you have nothing to lose because, that I can guarantee return on investment financially.
Absolutely.
I can definitely guarantee some newfound friends. So there's really nothing to lose from coming. So if you can't like give that to yourself as a coach or as a gym owner, I think you should definitely question whether you should continue being a gym owner or not, because as you said, it's not even expensive. And, yeah.
So you're saying go. I promise you there's going to be value there. You're going to come away and be able to, even if you're going to get value you can bring back to your gym and to your practice.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, last question. When should I open a second gym?
When
if you pretend like I'm a gym owner that owns one gym, when should I open a second gym?
It depends if you're like me, because then you would just do it because. Otherwise, I honestly don't know.
Very honest.
I don't really think there's a good answer to that. Some of my friends would say when your gym is crushing it and it's full and you have all the freedom of time, but there's never really the perfect opportunity. You could be presented with a new partnership that seems interesting. You could be presented with an opportunity where you find a space with super low rent in a great location. So it depends. Sorry.
It's like having kids. When should I have them?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't now.
Yeah.
Have 5 now.
Exactly.
Yes.
So you have to be experimenting as well, right? What else is there?
Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, we would love to see you at one of our events for sure.
I just bought my tickets.
I don't think you need to buy. You don't need to buy a ticket.
I would love to come to one of your events. Could you do one in Santa Cruz? I am such a homebody. and I'm so honored that you would invite me. I've always wanted to go to one of Two Brains events too. Yeah, I
Very
bet you
good.
the energy is great there, right? People go
It
to the
is.
Coaches Congress, they leave and they're like reinvigorated. If nothing else, you're like, shit, I can't wait to get back to my gym and try some of this shit. It's like,
Yeah, it's like a family reunion with the Two
Yeah.
Brain Summit, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It could be, Savan, that we could see you in the US next year. We'll let you know.
okay.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
Congratulations. I love everything that you guys are saying. I love the fact that
Thank you.
you're giving. I truly believe
Thank
in
you.
building things and letting other people leverage them. I think our great, Greg Glassman told me our greatest gift is, our only value as human beings is what we can do for other people. I truly believe in that. And it's what you guys are doing, and you're successful at it. And I appreciate you. And I'm sorry it took me so long to have you guys on the show. If there's ever a time, by the way, you guys don't have to, I won't make you stay on 90 minutes every time. If there's ever something you guys want to share, you get a new speaker, or you have a speaker who's coming, and you want to send me a text and be like, hey, you should have this guy on, he's going to speak. People would really like him. Please utilize me or leverage the platform that I have.
Of course, good to know. Good to know. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for
Now
having
I
us.
can't say I don't know anything
pleasure.
about Coaches Congress. Yes.
No, you can't. You can't.
All right. Have a good day.
And
You too. Thank you.
All right. Cheers. Oh, wow. Great show. Easy show. Man, that was nice. What a that stresses me out. Can you imagine throwing an event in London, Australia, Stockholm, and Berlin? Holy cow. They take on so much doing that stuff. I just like walking out of bed and walking over to my podcast studio, take a shower, stretch my back out. Sevon, you gigantic pussy, get out of your chair and go. I don't know. Maybe it's that I'm not a pussy, but it's just how much pussy I get at home. I don't know. You never know. You never know. All right. You know what's funny is when I was researching these guys for a second, I'm like, oh shit, are these guys competing with Chris Cooper? And then I realized with Two Brain, and then I realized, oh no, this guy actually works at Two Brain. Mr. Pear. I asked him his name, then I said it wrong, then he said it, and he said it right, and then I still didn't have the balls to try it. Pod? But it's spelled P-E-R. Sevon, are you a little agoraphobic? I don't know what that is. Agoraphobic? Agoraphobic? Agoraphobic. Anxiety disorder characterized by a persistent, intense fear of situations where escape might be difficult or help may not be available. I don't think I have. I don't know. I don't think I have any, I don't really have any stories like that in my head. The bullshit story I tell myself is that I just, that I just don't want to meet people. I don't even know if that's true. None of my stories are true. Make a clip of that. There's nothing to me. I'm fucking nothing. Just a dude who wears long johns and does podcast. Hey guys. Oh, this is from Matt Souza. Are we doing Kill Taylor during Mayhem Classic? And then I said, Taylor will only weigh 146 pounds by then. Because, Taylor's still shitting himself. He still can't work out. He's a fucking mess. And then Susan says, I don't care if he's trans by then. I need to give our sponsors dates. Oh. All right. Let me see what's going on. This is probably not best practices what I'm about to do. But sometimes you just got to do. Give me a second. I'm connecting the Roadcaster. Let's see. Oh shit, it didn't connect. God damn it.
Hey, this is Rich. Leave me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.
Do you think Rich actually checks his messages? Do you actually check your messages? Hey, dude, can we do Kill Taylor in your gym at the barn? The weekend of the Mayhem Classic, Taylor's coming there. He's like so fucking excited to see you. He's losing his shit. But we also want to do it would be awesome to do Kill Taylor in the barn. So call me or text me or something. All right, bye. This is Sevon, by the way. Fuck. Probably what? It says it's connected. God, this thing sucks so bad. How does anyone fucking run a legitimate show using a Roadcaster? It's fucking nuts. I better text Rich. He there's no fucking way he checks his voice messages. Who the fuck checks their voice messages? Hey, hey Rich. Can we do Kill Taylor in your barn? God, if he says yes, our sponsor is going to be stoked. I wonder who our sponsor is. Oh shit, kid's birthday party. God, oh man. Good morning. There's a big chance of rain. Sorry for all the back and forth. We're going to reschedule for Friday, April 4th. Hope the ground is dry. Oh. Maybe I can bring boys. Shit. All right. Maybe I'm going mini golfing today. What's mini golfing? Is that miniature golf? Look at I get out of the fucking house. I'm gonna go miniature golfing. Hey, listen, those guys were cool. I brought up the dick pump, and he said we don't need those in Europe. It's like, hey, there's nothing like that. I mean, that's a first step. So, did you see this, Pat? I didn't even know this. One of my libtard friends sent this to me today. I guess one of the things that leaked in that text message exchange, this sucks. It doesn't suck like the president wears diapers, or like it doesn't suck compared to opening the border. It doesn't suck compared to anything that Biden did, but it just sucks because we want to be perfect. But Pat, you're gonna love this. Ready? This JD Vance wrote this. Team, I'm out for the day doing an economic event in Michigan, but I think we are making a mistake. 3% of the U.S. trade runs through the Suez Canal. 40% of European trade does. There's a real risk the public doesn't understand this or why it's necessary. The strongest reason to do this, I'm assuming bomb the fuck out of Yemen, as the President of the United States said, is to send a message, but I am not sure the President is aware how inconsistent this is with his message on Europe right now. There's a further risk that we see a moderate to severe spike in oil prices. It's like, fuck. You fucking kidding me? I don't give a fuck if you fucking release the fucking bombing dates. But let me tell you something, Pat, before you get your fucking panties in a twist and get all fucking excited. Listen, for those of you who like metaphors, the administration we had before was like a chick that not only didn't suck dick, but fucking found your cock absolutely disgusting. At worst, the administration now is a chick that loves sucking dick, but just occasionally nicks the helmet. That's it. That's it. Okay? And speaking of, I can't believe I'm going to do this. And speaking of thinking cock is disgusting. But Biden. No, shut the fuck up. And speaking of finding cock absolutely repulsive, I think this is a good segue. This is a fascinating post. This is Miss Alex Parker, beautiful CrossFitter, married to Meredith Root, who I've had some like bump-ins with. We see things differently. But this is absolutely wild. This explains so much. By the way, I fucking love her fucking haircut. I think it looks fucking great. I thought she had shit brown eyes like me, but she has beautiful blue eyes, which really pop with this new blonde hair. But I want you to watch a little bit of this. Watch this. Great smile, great teeth, just fucking awesome, right?
I got a haircut.
Great skin.
It's funny how we build up a haircut in our minds, like it's going to be this defining moment. Like we're going to walk out of the salon feeling transformed, like a new person. Sometimes that's the case, but sometimes it's you look in the mirror and you think, oh, that's different. A new cut can bring confidence, excitement, or even a little bit of panic because hair holds meaning. It's tied to our identity.
What the fuck is going on here? No, she's not transitioning. She looks more like a girl now than ever. She looks like a beautiful young lady. What are you talking about? I think she looks great. But what the fuck is going on here about this haircut? What? There's this that I was saying, quit thinking and all your problems will go away. Like this, dude, there's 582 comments in this thread that say great haircut. I cannot believe that there's actually people like this. This is fucking, someone needs to rescue her from her own brain.
To change. It's how we present ourselves to the world. And the expectations.
I haven't thought about how I present myself to the world since I've fucking been 13 years old and carried a comb in my back pocket. What the fuck is she talking about?
They can be heavy.
You don't think her hair looks good? Are you out of your fucking mind? 552 liars in that comment section. What don't you like about it? I think it looks good. I kind of want to run my fingers through it. I want to do that to it and feel it. It looks soft and yet kind of like it looks soft and it looks like it gives like a little pushback. You know what I mean? No, I did not have a switchblade comb. I had one of those like more like one like Fonzie had from Happy Days. Yeah, she looks like a 12-year-old boy. And she's probably like 40. What's wrong with that? She looks like my son, Avi. A little older.
The expectations that we set and the expectations that society sets, especially for women. As silly as this may sound, I'm really proud of myself for getting this haircut.
Holy shit, Alex. Come on, girl. I can't do anymore. Dude. What are you doing? And the sad part is her whole fucking comment section, it should be comic section, is filled with mentally ill people telling her she got a fucking great haircut. It's like, dude, why would you ever? What are you doing? Why are you like? You're adding more thoughts to a convoluted story. Just drop the story. Get whatever fucking haircut you want. Who gives a fucking shit? All of that is your story, Alex. Stop thinking and your problems will end. Who will you be without those thoughts? Just let it go, girl. Fucking, it's a great haircut. It's fucking beautiful. You shouldn't. She talks more about herself in that post than I talk about myself all fucking month. In her defense, she said the comment was silly. All right. It's like she wants to get over these things, but she thinks she's going to think her way out of these things. No, you're just piling more. You're just increasing the narrative. Just let the whole fucking narrative go. Set yourself free. You look great. So what? You got a haircut. Who gives a fuck? No, that's not Meredith. That's her wife, Alex. She should get fake boobs. I hear that does wonders for your mental abilities. I don't know. Oh shit. Wow. He said yes. Taylor, he said yes. Geez. We probably shouldn't bug Rich any more about that now that he said yes. Taylor's not even in my favorites. Can you fucking believe that? Should I put Taylor in my favorites? I have room for one more. I don't think it's cool being in my favorites because I'm the kind of person who'll just call someone and shoot the shit and like you know what I mean? Like, not really shoot the shit, but I'll just go on fishing expeditions. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just call you and start just asking you questions, like fishing around in your brain, looking for stuff. And I don't know if he wants to be on that. Poor Sousa gets that all the time. I make Sousa stay on the phone with me like a girlfriend from the 8th grade.
Hey, this is Taylor. You could be.
Fuck Taylor. I'm calling his secretary, Bryson. I don't know if I've ever called Bryson.
Yo.
Have I ever called you?
No.
Oh, hi. We're live on the air.
Oh, sweet.
Hey, we got the barn. Rich said we could use the barn for Kill Taylor.
No shit.
Yep. How crazy is that?
I just got a hard on.
All right. Will you relay that to your boss?
Yeah, I will. You should relay to Rich that he's gonna, if he's not already, I'm gonna circumcise him with my mouth this weekend.
Hey, what we should really tell Rich is to make sure he has some fucking Drano and a plunger ready for the bathroom. How is homeboy's butt? I told Rich, I said, fucking Taylor's gonna probably jump on you. Be careful. How is his butthole? How is the fittest man in the world's butthole?
Well, you saw the picture this morning, the gerbil shit. It's getting better than just liquid.
Oh, I missed that one. Let me see. I went straight to the argument of fighting about Pete Hegseth.
Oh yeah.
I didn't
After
realize.
the group that turning liberal.
Yeah, thank you. Oh yeah, those look good. Those look good. Those are more like rabbit pellets.
It's better than mucus.
Yeah. Okay, he was having a vaginal discharge, and now there's some solids.
Yeah, which honestly is good for Rich's toilet, because then that means there's not much to flush besides liquid and a couple pellets.
Hey, can't you just eat just a jar of peanut butter and your shit just turns to fucking some cement?
I mean, that's what I thought. Your advice the other day was good, like a bunch of pumpkin peanut butter.
Yeah.
you know, even if it's not like the best thing normally, it might kind of get that shit sorted out. But he's been eating like yesterday he said he needed bread. So I don't know if him and Lizzie got like pizza or something. He was asking her to find a pizza place. But he was just like, I just need bread.
God, he sounds like a woman during with morning sickness.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's like.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yep.
All right. Talk to you later.
See ya.
Bye. All right. Bryson Del Monte. Let me see if I'm going golfing. Miniature golfing. Oh. Okay. Shit. I'm going miniature golfing. Would it bother you if we okay? How do I ask? I just kind of invited myself. Cool if we come. I guess cool if we come, question mark. All right. It is kind, I'm pretty open-minded. It is kind of gross to take pictures of your poop and send it in a group chat. It is gross. I think it's gross. I don't like it. But I mean, I'm tolerant of it, but I don't like it. He seems to get a lot of stomach issues. No, what are you talking about? He's never sick. I'm never sick. None of us are ever sick. What the fuck are you talking about, Jake? Jake, what are you talking about? Jesus, Jake. I try to listen to your podcast. It's I swear to God, it seems like it's in a foreign language to me. I swear to you. Like, Sevi, take a deep breath and just translate everything. Do you know anyone who just speaks fucking regular English, TV English? For fuck's sake. Hey.
Is the roadcaster working?
No, but go ahead. I'll talk to you.
You're sick a lot.
No, I'm never sick. What are you talking about?
It sounds like you're sick every like 3 or 4 weeks. And I was going to ask, do you ever track those days that you don't feel well, or the days you drink Diet Coke or have too many margaritas or too much sugar?
No, but I never get sick. What are you talking about? I never get sick. Tell me, like, you mean like this? You mean like stuffy nose or colds and shit?
Yeah, just like phlegm, sore throat, sound sick. Yourself.
Yeah, always. But I'm never sick. I'm never like it never debilitates me, or you know what I mean? Like I'm never like, honey, bring me chicken soup. I can't. I'm never like that.
Okay. All right.
I'm always healthy. I'm just processing. Maybe it's because I'm always barefoot.
Fair. It could be just that. Good vibrations. Hey, is that barn?
Will you track my sickness for me?
I kind of have been. I don't want to expose you. It's not.
Oh, okay. Tell me. What are the dates I've been sick? Tell me.
Okay. About 3-4 weeks ago, you went out with margaritas for friends. A couple days later, you were sick. Too much sugar.
Oh, you know what happened is I think I definitely, when I was in Arizona, I was in a house full of like snotty sick kids, and that's what I have now. I brought that back, and I've had that for a couple weeks.
On the way home, you stopped at gas station, had hot dogs and Diet Coke or whatever you ate.
I had a Ghost and a lot of and some of that creamer in my coffee, that scummy creamer that they have at Pilot.
I mean, if you do track it, it probably comes right down to the sugar.
Okay.
But you sound good now and you rebound quick, and that's all that matters.
I coughed up something crazy last night. Like, when I coughed up something so crazy that I went to the sink and spit it out. I'm like, I'm probably not going to swallow that.
Hey, is Rich's barn that small one with an entrance in the front and the back, that same barn from the old days? Or did he build a new one?
Just 1 second. David, you've never done that. You've never had a fucking wad in your mouth that you've spit out. You've swallowed them all. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. The barn is the one. I think the barn is just that huge. I shouldn't say just. It's the huge gym, adjacent to his house. 50 yards from his house.
Yeah, do you remember the old one with all the videos back in the day? That was really
Yes,
small.
that was at his dad's house.
Could you do it there?
Oh, that's interesting.
That just for the nostalgia factor. I mean, Taylor would literally have a chubby the whole time.
Yeah, that would be interesting to do it at his dad's house. His dad's cool as shit too. Rich Senior.
He seems like a real handy man.
You have to
Good
be
guy
very
all around.
you have to be very careful when you're texting them because you get the on your phone one says Rich Froning and one says Rich Froning Senior. I fucked that up a few times.
Nice flex.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, buddy. Thanks for answering the call.
Okay, bye.
Bye now.
Fuck you. I'm never sick. Eat a dick. Uh um kill Taylor at the barn. Oh, but the Kill Taylor this weekend got moved again. It's I told you guys normally it's at 8, then I told you guys it's at 3, but it's at 3:30 now, I think. Oh, Rebecca, hi. How are you? Good to see you as a member. Rebecca has only one of 2 CEO jackets. I think I either gave it to her or girlfriend. I can't remember. It's at 3:30 and it's a partner workout, and I think it's 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. I think. All right, I'm taking the boys golfing. What's today? Today's Thursday. Great day. That went way better than I thought. That podcast. I'm pretty happy. I don't think I have any other. I don't think I have anything that I'm dying to share with you guys. Let me see. This is a kind of a crazy video. This is a crazy video. I'll show you this one video. This is it, and then I'm leaving. This is a cop sitting in a cop car watching and a female officer was suspended last week in Miami, Florida after she sat in her car while a violent mob attacked a driver in the middle of the road. I don't think this has anything to do with her being a woman. They're trying to say it's a DEI thing. I think that's bullshit. I mean, I hate DEI, but I don't think this says. So, oh, look, a security guard came to push the boys off the person getting beaten. So it's a bunch of dudes. Oh, dude, it's like 20 fucking black dudes beating up a white dude. That would never have flown if that was 20 white dudes beating up a black dude. Oh my God. It's fucking crazy. Hey, shouldn't the cop just get out, Pat? Help me on this. Doesn't the cop just get out and just start shooting those kids? Like that, isn't that dude's life in jeopardy? Like if you stomp on someone's head, you can shoot them, right? What's oh dude, Magnus, the Swedes are good people, great show, thanks. I was dying to ask him about what the fuck's going on in Sweden politically, but I was trying to be cool. I was trying to be so cool. What is going on here? What can you do? All these pussies driving by. Yeah, like what do you Hey, kudos to the fat fucking white chick that came out to fucking protect. She's lucky she didn't get stomped. Look at her. Just some fat white security. Oh, some dude jumped out of his car finally. Look at that. There is some guy that runs over and grabs someone. Oh, there is someone. Look at, there's some buff white guy that runs over. This is just some fucking crazy shit, dude. And look, someone's even fucking like talking shit to the cops. Yeah, that guy runs over to help. Can you do that? Where's Pat? I want to know what Pat thinks. Pat, can you just get out and start just shooting those kids for doing that? I think you can. If you announce police, immediate threat of serious bodily harm or death. I mean, that dude's clearly fucking. I wouldn't be surprised if that dude died. You mean Jethro? No, Jethro. No, Jethro's a real cop. I want to talk to Pat. That's Florida, dude. They pulled this fucking dude out of his car and fucking beat him like that. Those kids must have been oppressed. Yeah, fair. They're passing on the oppression. Holy fuck. All right, that's it. I'll leave you on that note. I'm going to play golf. I'll see you guys tomorrow, Friday. Who's coming on tomorrow? Let me see who's coming on tomorrow. Oh, Jeremy Thiel. That's he runs a semifinal. OG. Known the guy since 08. Haven't talked to him in, I don't know, 10 years. Olivia, we just lost an officer yesterday in the line of duty. SWAT was serving a warrant for transnational drug operation. Our LEO community is really rocked. That's in Texas. Damn. SWAT death. Texas. You're in Texas, right? It says a canine was killed during a SWAT standoff with 2 suspects. Was it just a dog or a person? Oh, NorCal. Oh, shit. They probably weren't even using real bullets in California. Man. Oh, fuck. What a mess. I'm surprised CBS News can even report on this cuck news. Marysville officer killed in shooting while serving warrant and drug trafficking investigation. Damn it. A Northern California police officer was shot and killed while serving a search warrant and transnational drug trafficking investigation Wednesday morning. Authorities said at around 7:50 a.m., law enforcement officers were from several area agencies were on Kestrel Court in the Yuba County town of Olivehurst executing a search warrant. That warrant was one of 20 that were served across Yuba, Sutter, Tehama, and Butte counties on Wednesday as part of a years-long investigation. One of the members of SWAT team was wounded and later died at the Adventist Health and officer said the suspect was shot in an exchange of gunfire and died at the scene. One other person was detained at the scene and taken into questioning, but that person has been released. Oh, man. This marks the first Marysville police officer to die in the line of duty in more than 100 years. I guess we don't know what happened.
Telling you.
Yeah, Tony and Marley, you guys mentioned flags at half staff, and that's what all the flags here in Marysville are looking like.
Flags at half staff? Isn't it half mass? Is it half staff? Half mass? Half staff? Half mass?
Tonight, you can see this one over my shoulder at the Yuba County Sheriff's Office, where officers and deputies.
Kestrel Court, 3504, roll medical to Kestrel Court. Medical here, we have one officer down.
A community devastated after an exchange of gunfire during a search warrant killed Marysville PD officer Osmar Rodarte.
I don't like to hear stuff like this happen.
Wednesday morning, multiple law enforcement agencies were serving the warrant as part of a transnational drug trafficking bust. But authorities say when they entered the home on Kestrel Court in Olivehurst, the suspect opened fire.
These were major players moving poison through our communities, and we couldn't just sit and watch it happen. We had to do something about it, and it's just tragic.
The district attorney says
we couldn't sit and watch it happen. We had to do something about it. 1000% that's a libtard. Who the fuck talks like that? 1000% that's a libtard.
The suspects in these drug trafficking organizations are moving hundreds of pounds of meth, deadly fentanyl, and heroin through communities. The suspect was pronounced dead on scene, while the officer was rushed to Rideout Hospital, where he unfortunately succumbed.
Oh, fuck. Hey, Olivia, is that guy a libtard? That guy? Was that the DA? Oh, my God. All right. It looked like a fit cop, too. Looked like he took his job seriously. I don't know. That's a pretty red area. No, all conservative here. All right. Tell him to fucking speak like one. We can't just sit here and let that happen. It's like, no. That's a no duh. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.